Amerith, I am still in control because I haven't lost my balls because I'm better than Jason at this. Welcome back to On the Picard.
Yes, where we will talk about something other than Pitbulls.
Yeah. Can I talk about the awkwardness of some of the action scenes? Like, some of them are great. There's that famous one in episode 3 in Picard's study where the Romulans protect him.
That was good. Although my favorite action scene was the one where, at the first episode, where Dodge is dragging an 80-year-old man up like 20 flights of stairs.
I hated that. I hated the fact that they tried to put a bag over a robot android's head as if that would do something.
I liked the going up the stairs thing because it showed that they're not going to keep going in the Picard is Space John McClane route.
Oh, right. They're going to show these fragile, which they continued in the third episode.
And they did that in the episode you're talking about in the house, where he basically gets thrown over a table or something like that.
The Romulans are protecting him. He's the package.
And it takes him the rest of the fight scene to get back up onto his feet.
Yes. One thing that this indicates, by the way, have you noticed that all of Star Trek main timeline since the first episode of Next Generation has tracked in real time, to current times?
Yes.
Meaning, like, the first episode of Next Gen takes place in 2370, whatever.
I do actually. I just want to make one caveat. I do kind of fudge it a little bit because there is the off periods between seasons.
Yeah.
And I basically just assume that the season takes place over the course of that entire year.
But you get what I'm saying.
But condensed into the 6 to 8 month, period where the episodes are being released. So I would not subscribe to the interpretation that after the end of the season episode,
nothing happens for 6 months?
Nothing happens for 4 to 6 months on the Enterprise.
No, and that's not what I was trying to get at. I was trying to get at
but I just wanted to point that out.
I was trying to get at that it is now 20 however many years since Star Trek started, and Picard takes place that many years after.
You mean since Star Trek ended?
Yes. Well, both, right? That's what I'm getting at, is we've had a consistent timeline in all of Trek. Besides
the explicit offshoots, and depending on how you want to interpret it, Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah, besides Kelvin Timeline and Discovery.
Well, Star Trek Discovery, I actually still have not watched the second season of Star Trek Discovery because I was so turned off by the first season, I just never got around to watching the second season. I hear it's less bad, but that it's basically still burdened by all the problems that were in the first season.
Season 4 is going to be really good, and then they're going to cancel it.
Well, yeah.
Isn't that how they always do that?
Yes, but Discovery is supposed to be in prime continuity, which is one of the things that makes me hate it so much, because the first season does so many things that are just abysmal things to have put into Star Trek continuity.
Should I hand it over to you? Do you want to give it back? All right, handing it back to Jason.
Enter your initial.
Oh.
I'll just skip.
So anyway, what were you getting at with the continuity thing?
Just the main gist of, I think it's cool that the setting has aged at the exact pace as real life. That's what I'm trying to say. Does that make more? Does that?
Yeah.
Is that an understandable way?
And some people would argue that 20 years is a long time, and things within the Star Trek universe have changed. And that's their explanation for why it doesn't feel like Star Trek at all.
Like we said, we've been giving out we've been doling out resources to the collapsed Romulan Empire.
So one of the biggest themes in at least the first 2 or 3 episodes is it's commenting on the contemporary refugee crisis.
Yeah.
Which is okay, fine, cool, that's great. But then it does it in the worst way possible.
Yeah.
And in an episode of actual Star Trek, the way something like this would happen would be there would be an inciting incident, and then the entire episode would spend the next 40 minutes of its runtime basically having a deep, introspective
philosophical discussion, between the characters,
including debate amongst the characters themselves over the various pros and cons and merits of whatever is the topical thing. In Star Trek Picard and also in Discovery, no, there's a 5-minute conversation that's basically just oh no, the whole Federation is racist now and we hate Romulans. and that's it. And then there's a crappy action scene, and then one of my biggest problems with Picard is they keep explaining things that the audience already knows. Every new character that Picard meets, he explains the whole situation to. And this is happening in spite of the fact that every episode is preceded by a couple minutes of previously on Star Trek Picard.
I mean, if you want ridiculous plot contrivances...
Well, it's not a plot contrivance. It's unnecessary wasted screen time.
Okay, if you want unnecessary wasted screen time, let's talk about pop-up ads that you have to swipe away that show up as holograms inside your ship.
I'm going to give that a pass because that's also my favorite episode of Black Mirror. But Black Mirror already did it, and they did it better. It's like the second episode of Black Mirror. It's called like 50 Million Merits, and it's basically about a dystopian future in which Xbox gamer points are currency.
Oh, I figured out why the camera moves around so much, because both the plunger and the camera shift are bound to the same button.
But anyway, before we move on to something like that, I want to keep talking about like the refugee thing.
Okay, yeah, keep going.
So had I written Picard, and I didn't want everyone in the Federation to suddenly come off as being racist and hating Romulans, the way I would have written that, I think it's the second episode where he goes to the Admiral, and the Admiral is like the fucking hubris or whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, Amerith.
No, we're not in the first minute. It's just first minute.
Oh, okay. The way I would have written that is I would have had them like actually have a longer discussion about like how the resources that were being diverted to rescue the Romulans were resources that were already allocated to Federation worlds
and stretched out, yeah,
that were undergoing their own crises, and those planets, you know, voted against it because they didn't want those resources.
Right, and the Romulans were the enemy until 5 years ago. Like, they were the Federation's longest-standing enemy for like 200 years.
It's been longer than 5 years since Nemesis.
That's true. It's been 20 years.
It was at least.
The planet only exploded like 10 years ago. The Romulan star.
Right, but had this show been written by people who actually want to make something that feels like Star Trek, there would have been like lengthy discussions about like the logistics of how are we gonna get all of these resources there? How are we gonna distribute resources to the Federation worlds that need them and still be able to relocate the Romulans? Instead, like I said, it's just a 5-minute discussion that basically boils down to, no, we're racist now. Fuck the Romulans, and fuck you for wanting to not fuck the Romulans.
Well, and again, they were the enemies, and I like that aspect of, like, and some of the people are like, no, those guys were our enemies, why were we helping them out?
But the Federation has been working to like even in Deep Space Nine.
Well, no, I'm saying it's okay that people have that sentiment. That's a reasonable sentiment for people to have.
Yes, but it should have been a very small minority, and those people should have just been like, whatever. I mean, we'll write a dissenting opinion to the Supreme Court of the Federation. But like it goes back further. Like the Romulans were allied with the Federation in Deep Space Nine, and that was a major turning point, and that was years before
Oh, that's
Nemesis.
A good point too.
And then before even that, there was the TNG episodes where Spock wanted to reunify with the Romulans.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because it's also sort of a North-South Korea kind of thing that's been going on with the Romulans and Klingons, right?
You mean with Romulans and Vulcans?
Yeah, sorry, Romulans and Vulcans. I apologize.
Yeah, yes, the Romulan Klingon thing is a lot different than North-South Korea.
Sorry, the Romulan Vulcan thing, because they have a common ancestry. I do not mind the fact that we're going to find out that the origin of the Borg was like either
Romulans created them.
Yeah, either the Romulans created them or the Vulcans created them forever ago. Or they have some connections.
No, it's gonna be the Romulans, and it's gonna be because another major problem that Picard suffers from is power creep.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it can't be the Tal Shiar that is behind all this. It has to be this even more super secretive organization.
Yeah, why couldn't it just be part of the Tal Shiar?
That's even secreter than the Tal Shiar.
Why did it have to be the Romulan Illuminati?
And then like there's shit like they're investigating Daj's room in like the second episode, and Picard's house servant has like a machine that can just reconstitute events from the past based on like displaced molecules or some shit like that.
Yeah, I didn't mind that so much. Oh my god,
no, that was bad. And then there's the whole premise of the show so far up till now is they can reconstitute Data's entire neural net and memories and knowledge from like one positronic
Yeah, from
neuron.
like 100 molecules put together. Yeah. Okay, so you lost, but before that, there's one more ridiculous thing I have to bring up. The scientist girl, I forget her name, when she kills her like lover. Like,
Oh, she's
why-
working for the Romulans.
yeah, why can't she just be like, hey, dude, I gotta turn you? Because clearly they have a history and he's gonna do what she, like...
Right. And that actually does bring me to a real quick point that I want to make before we end this episode, which is that one of my other biggest frustrations is why didn't Picard go to the people he knows, like Riker and Geordi and Worf? There's that comes up in dialogue, and his excuse is something along the lines of, because I know they would say yes.
Yeah.
Which is exactly why you want to ask them.
Yeah.
You're doing a time-sensitive...
Oh, your microphone's a little far. You're talking over to me like it's my microphone.
Sorry, I actually turned to you. Hopefully people could hear that. But you're talking about a time-sensitive mission in which somebody's life is potentially on the line, right? You're going to be going into hostile territory. You need people who are going to be loyal to you, who you can trust. You don't assemble a Magnificent Seven that you don't even know, right? And then one of them obviously turns out to be a traitor. No, like first of all, like who in the galaxy knows more about Data and Soong-type androids than Geordi?
Right.
Why is Geordi
Also,
not here?
Geordi could have gotten onto the relic in a heartbeat. Like, it would have been easier for him to get on
At the
relic.
very least, if you didn't want to include cameos or the entire cast of the Next Generation, which obviously they're not going to, because we know at least Riker and Troy are going to show up as cameos.
Yeah.
Here's how you write that. You say they're all out on deep space assignments, and it would literally take them years to get back here.
Yeah. And you can
That's
name them
what you-
individually, yeah.
You don't have Picard just
Just
be like,
have a narrative reason why they aren't there. Okay, one last thing about I can't remember her name. Kills her boyfriend. Kills the
Agnes.
Yeah, Agnes.
Agnes Girardi.
Like, the way that she kills him is so sloppy, too. Like, it would be instantly obvious to, like, either the hologram or the captain, like, oh no, like, she fucked with the settings to kill him, and, like, I don't know.
And we can talk about the holograms in the next episode.
Okay, yeah.
Because that's another of my pet peeves.
We've been not playing Pinball too long. Next time on the branch.